The city sleeps, blanketed by a velvet sky dotted with distant, unblinking stars. Streetlights cast long, eerie shadows that dance with the night breeze. But beneath this deceptive calm, a hidden world stirs. Tonight, we dive into 3 terrifying DoorDash stories that will make you think twice before you order. Our first story takes us to the suburbs, a peaceful neighborhood under the watchful gaze of the moon. It's here we meet Sarah, a college student cramming for an important exam. As hunger pangs gnaw at her concentration, she decides to order some pizza. Little does she know, this simple act will plunge her into a night of unimaginable terror. The doorbell rings, a jarring sound in the stillness of the night. Her pizza has arrived. Relief washes over Sarah as she opens the door, but it evaporates in an instant. On her doorstep stands a figure shrouded in shadows, his features obscured by the darkness. He holds out a pizza box, but something feels off. His touch is cold, his silence unnerving. Thanks, Sarah stammers, her voice barely a whisper. The delivery man doesn't respond, just stares at her with an intensity that sends shivers down her spine. He finally breaks eye contact, turning to leave, but his movements are stiff, unnatural. As Sarah closes the door, a wave of unease washes over her. She tries to shake it off, attributing it to exam stress and lack of sleep. But deep down, a primal fear whispers a warning she can't ignore. She catches a glimpse of the delivery man through the window, still standing on the sidewalk, his gaze fixed on her house. The pizza sits untouched on the counter, Sarah's appetite gone. She tries to focus on her studies, but the image of the strange delivery man lingers in her mind. Hours crawl by, each tick of the clock amplifying her fear. Finally, as dawn paints the sky with hues of purple and orange, Sarah allows herself to breathe a sigh of relief. The ordeal seems like a bad dream, a figment of her sleep-deprived imagination, but as she's about to dismiss it entirely, she notices something strange. The pizza box is gone. Panic surges through her veins, her heart pounding against her ribs. Our next story takes us to the heart of the city, where a young couple, Emily and Ben, are enjoying a cozy night in. Rain lashes against the windows, creating a soothing rhythm that lulls them into a false sense of security. As they browse through movie options, their stomachs start to rumble. Pizza, Ben suggests, already reaching for his phone. Emily nods in agreement, her mouth watering at the thought of a cheesy, greasy slice. They settle on their usual order, a large pepperoni pizza with extra cheese, and eagerly await their delivery. The minutes stretch into an eternity, their anticipation growing with each passing moment. Finally, the doorbell rings, announcing the arrival of their long-awaited feast. Ben answers the door, a wide grin on his face, but his smile falters as he takes the pizza box from the delivery person. "Is everything okay?" Emily asks, noticing the confused look on Ben's face. "Yeah, it's just weird," Ben replies, holding up the pizza box. There's no label, no company name, nothing. Emily's brow furrows as she examines the box. It's a plain, unmarked cardboard box, completely devoid of any branding or identifying information. A shiver runs down her spine, a prickle of unease settling in the pit of her stomach. Maybe they ran out of labels? Emily suggests, trying to rationalize the strange occurrence. But deep down, a sense of foreboding begins to take root. They decide to brush off their unease and dig into the pizza. As they lift the lid, a strange, almost chemical odor wafts up from the steaming hot pizza. It's not the familiar aroma of melted cheese and pepperoni, but something acrid, unfamiliar. Emily's stomach churns, her appetite suddenly vanished. "Does this smell weird to you?" she asks, her voice laced with apprehension. Ben takes a tentative sniff, his face contorting in disgust. "Yeah, it smells like chemicals?" Despite their growing unease, hunger and curiosity get the better of them. They decide to try a small bite, hoping that the strange smell is just a fluke. But as soon as the pizza touches their tongues, they know something is terribly wrong. The taste is metallic, bitter, and leaves a burning sensation in their mouths. They spit it out immediately, their faces contorted in disgust. Fear grips their hearts as they realize that something is seriously amiss. Our final story takes us to the outskirts of town, where a lone figure navigates the desolate streets on his trusty scooter. The night is thick with an eerie silence, broken only by the hum of his engine and the occasional rustle of leaves in the wind. Mark, a seasoned DoorDash driver, is no stranger to the night. With years of experience under his belt, he's become a master of navigating the labyrinthine streets and alleyways that make up the city's darker side. He's seen it all, from drunken escapades to late-night cravings, the city's underbelly unfolding before him like a never-ending film reel. Each delivery is a new chapter in the ongoing saga of urban life, filled with its own unique set of characters and stories. But tonight, he's about to encounter something that will shake him to his core. Something that will make all his previous experiences seem trivial in comparison. The ping on his phone announces his next order, a simple request for a burger and fries from a local diner. It's a routine job, one he's done countless times before. The address takes him to a secluded area on the edge of town, a street lined with dilapidated houses and flickering streetlights, the kind of place that seems forgotten by time, where the shadows are longer and the air feels heavier. As he approaches the address, a wave of unease washes over him. It's a feeling he can't quite shake, a sense that something is off. The house is shrouded in darkness, its windows like vacant eyes staring out into the night. It stands apart from the others, more decrepit, more foreboding. He parks his scooter and approaches the front door, his hand hovering over the doorbell. The silence is almost deafening, amplifying his growing sense of dread. He hesitates for a moment, a strange premonition sending shivers down his spine. It's as if the house itself is warning him to stay away. Shaking off his apprehension, he rings the doorbell. Silence. The kind of silence that feels alive, pressing in on him from all sides. He waits for a moment, then rings again, this time holding it down for a little longer. Still, no response. The air feels thicker, more oppressive. The only response is the sound of his own heartbeat in his ears. It's a lonely, hollow sound that seems to echo in the empty night. "Hello?" he calls out, his voice echoing through the stillness of the night. "Is anyone there?" His words seem to be swallowed by the darkness. "DoorDash Delivery?" Still no answer. The silence is almost mocking, as if the house is playing a cruel joke on him. He checks the address again, double-checking that he's at the right place. The numbers match, but something still feels wrong. The house number is clearly visible, illuminated by the dim glow of his phone's flashlight. There's no mistake. He's at the right place. He tries the doorbell one last time, but it's clear that no one's home. The realization sends a chill down his spine. As he turns to leave, he notices something strange. A flicker of light catches his eye, drawing his attention to the basement window. There's a faint light emanating from the basement window, a flickering glow that seems out of place in the otherwise darkened house. It's a small, almost imperceptible light, but it stands out in the gloom. Curiosity piqued, he cautiously approaches the window, peering through the dusty glass. His breath fogs up the pane as he tries to get a better look. What he sees sends a chill down his spine. It's a scene that defies explanation, something out of a nightmare. In the dimly lit basement, he can make out a figure moving around, their back turned to him. The movements are slow, deliberate, almost ritualistic. It's impossible to make out any details, but the way they're moving, the way they're hunched over something on the floor, sends a wave of fear through him. It's a primal fear, the kind that grips you and won't let go. He watches for a moment longer, his mind racing with possibilities. Each scenario more terrifying than the last. Is someone hurt? Is this some kind of elaborate prank? Or is something far more sinister going on behind the walls of this dilapidated house? The questions swirl in his mind, each one more unsettling than the last. He knows he should just leave, report the strange occurrence to DoorDash and let the authorities handle it. It's the logical thing to do, the safe thing, but something compels him to stay, a morbid curiosity he can't shake. It's as if he's being drawn into the mystery, unable to turn away. He takes a deep breath, steeling his nerves, and tries the doorknob. The metal is cold under his fingers, sending a shiver up his arm. To his surprise, it's unlocked. The door swings open with a creak, revealing the dark interior of the house. He slowly pushes the door open, his heart pounding in his chest. Each step feels like a journey into the unknown. The air inside is stale and heavy, thick with the smell of dust and decay. It's a suffocating atmosphere, one that makes him want to turn back. He listens intently, but the only sound is the creaking of the house settling around him. It's a lonely, desolate sound that only adds to his unease. He takes a tentative step inside, his hand reaching for his phone's flashlight. The beam cuts through the darkness, revealing the decaying interior of the house. As he shines the beam around the room, his heart leaps into his throat. The shadows seem to dance and shift, creating eerie shapes that play tricks on his mind. The figure from the basement is standing in the doorway, their face shrouded in darkness. It's a sight that freezes him in place, his breath catching in his throat. The figure doesn't move, doesn't speak, just stands there, an ominous presence in the gloom. As the city lights flicker and fade with the approaching dawn, we're left with a haunting reminder that even the most mundane activities can take a sinister turn. These stories remind us that sometimes the ordinary can turn extraordinary in the most unsettling ways. Stay safe, and think twice before your next order. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tales that chill and thrill.